Got to get it, Papa. Well, after all the exciting adventures I've been having, I got kind of thirsty. Surprise, surprise. And I stopped at a Shell station, and I found this. Since 1916, so it's over 100 years old. They've been 100 years they've been making this, but it's Grape-Eco. And I've never heard of it before, but I'm assuming it's just grape soda. A southern thing for 100 years. See? And actually a little bit more than that, for over 100 years. And let's see, let me look at the fine print before I get into this. I'm curious to see where it comes from. Packed by Buffalo Rock Company, Birmingham, Alabama, which happens to be where I am. Well, I didn't know that, but now I do. So, let's see what this Grape-Eco tastes like. It must be pretty good if it's been around for over 100 years. Ooh, it's had some power behind that one. It smells grape-licious. Grape-Eco-licious. That is good. I like good grape soda. Grape knee-high is good. Yeah. Well, Grape-Eco gets a big thumbs up. If they have it in little glass bottles, that would be even better. I'm gonna finish enjoying this delicious Grape-Eco. And I don't know if I'm saying it right. Grape-Eco. I don't know, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna finish that up and see what else happens. Well, here I am with a few little friends of mine. I'll show you in a minute. And we're in a interesting place today. And if you've seen the movie, you might know about it. But yeah, I got some comments. And I'm not making too much noise right now. But anyway, yeah, I'm in a little town y'all may or may not have heard of in Alabama, actually kind of near Montgomery. And it's called Specter. And the interesting thing about Specter is that it's not a real town. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. You're confusing me. Okay, calm down. Confuse a lot of people. But no, Spectre was a town built for a movie. It never existed before, and it doesn't, well, physically parts of it exist, but we'll see. But before we go into town with all my noisy friends, I'll turn, maybe you can see some in the background. I'm surrounded. But anyway, when you're working on a movie, budget decides a lot of what you can do. And anyone who's done short films and stuff like that knows that very often you have no budget, which makes it a challenge. And so you say, well, in our movie, let's see, we can use my uncle's house because they have a big dining room. We have a scene where we need a dining room. We'll have to see if we can get somebody to donate some food to use for the dining room scene. And then I'm gonna ask my aunt if we can borrow her car, but we're not gonna tell her that there's a scene on a racetrack, you know, but we'll probably be able to borrow the car. And let's see, but what to do about the airplane scene? I know what we'll do. We'll get some cardboard and we'll make a fake airplane and shoot it like that. And with the lights and everything, it'll look fine. That's how you do it with little to no budget. But if you do have a ton of budget, you can do things like build your own town. And that's what we're gonna see right now. This was in the movie Big Fish. And this was the town of Specter, which is all kind of magical stuff and everything. You gotta watch the movie. It's interesting, it's different and all that, but you know, it's something to see. And all my little friends just left. A truck came and honked his horn and they all ran away. So we'll catch up with them later. But in the meantime, look behind you. Look behind you. Look that. Yes, look that. Yes, that's the town of Specter, and these are some big trees that you could enter into. See how the finger is like simulating somebody walking? Look, it's special effects. Yeah, you enter the town between these two old gnarly styrofoam trees. You see, they really are styrofoam when you look at them up close. Look that. See all the cool gnarly styrofoam roots? And it's amazing it's still here. So yeah, basically before 2003 when the movie came out, the movie Big Fish, this town didn't exist. And about half of it still doesn't exist because it's gone. And I'll point out some local sites, but and tell you why some things are gone and stuff. But this was a Tim Burton movie, 2003, and there we go. Now, so we know where we are. But y'all probably saying, well, I don't know why you have all them shoes up on that. And it's like, if you would just calm down, I could tell you. But there's a certain thing in the movie that happens where people's shoes end up on the line up there. And I'm keeping mine on my feet, by the way, because I'm just visiting for a little while. And the movie's not in production anymore. So, but you can see the interesting thing is most of the buildings that are still here are actually outside. They're complete buildings. They have a front and a back and a side and a roof and all that. We're gonna see though, we're gonna show y'all some. This is an old log cabin building, and you can see something interesting. See, this was in 2003, so that was 20 years ago. Jiminy whiskers. And these houses and buildings were only meant to last as long as they were filming, which it could have been, I don't know how long the production was going, but yeah, it could have been like, 4 weeks or something like that. And so these things are all these buildings, except for the trailers and stuff back there, but these houses, those are all meant to be temporary, extremely temporary. And so like this old stone chimney of the old log cabin is made out of some kind of foam plastic junk, and you can see it's like rotted away and stuff and fallen off over the years. And not only that, but the logs aren't logs at all. They're real lumber, but they're just sandwiched together. And this one's actually moving, because let's look at the back of it. Look that! How'd you like the back of your house to look like that? there's just some plywood on the back of it, and because they didn't film this part. And let's look through the hole in the wall and see what's inside. Oh, actually we can go inside, but this is the extent of the interior. So there's no furniture, there's not much in the way of, well, there's no walls inside. You know, they got the roof, they had redone the roof at some point, and I'll explain a little bit about that too, because as we walk around the other side of the old log cabin, yeah, that's where Mammy and Pappy used to hang out. He cut all that lumber himself out of real trees. You see how they just end, but when we come around this side, you know, from a distance at least, and when it was new, the edges were finished and stuff like that, to where it looked more like real pieces of logs poking out. But yeah, look that. But they are making efforts to preserve these buildings as much as they can, considering that they are definitely just temporary. But yeah, let's look at the expansive interior, the luxurious log cabin interior, including the fireplace. The fireplace that we saw outside is right there, and inside there ain't no fireplace. Well, it's gonna be hard to keep warm in the wintertime. Let's go across the road here. This is the kind of the main drag through town where a lot of stuff happened, and it's actually a real road. I'm not sure if they did the railroad during the movie or not. I don't remember. I'm not sure whose house this is, but it's kind of roped off. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Let's see what's inside here. Oh, there's a weird guy. Look at that. And there's a Spectre right there in the reflection. But just looking through the little gap in the door. Yeah, ain't too impressive inside. It's a little more impressive than the other one. As you can see, some of the walls were kind of finished. Well, you can't see too good. There, you can see on this side a little bit. But we're gonna walk around outside a little bit too. I have to jump off the porch because there ain't no step. Ah! And you can see the extensive foundation made of real fake boulders. And let's see, we're going around the side of the house. This will give you a look. I'm gonna pick you up on my shoulders so you can see inside. Look that. Look that. But you can see almost all of these buildings are finished this way or even less. Some of them don't have floors. Most of them just have like a plywood back. This one's got a door on the back. That's kind of nice. And it depended on what they did with them during the movie. You can see the back of that one a little bit. Because if you weren't going to see anything but people walking by on the street, then you didn't have to worry about the insides, because nobody went inside and they didn't show it. So why build it if you're not going to show it? And I'm gonna go. Let's. This is kind of weird because it makes you feel like a peeping Tom when you're going around looking in the windows. But this one's got a little more to see in there. It's kind of hard to tell. We're gonna go see around the side or the front. But yeah, they are making efforts to preserve these. Like they got a new metal roof on there. I think they've done some work to that house over there over the years. This is kind of cool because it's got the tree and everything. I mean, it looks like it's been here for 50 years. It's only been here since like 2001, 2002. But look at the luxurious interior of this manse. I'm using all my special words today. But yeah, this one, I think you might have been able to see smoke coming out of the chimney or something. So we'll go outside and look and see what happens over there. But this did have a slight bit of interior apparently, because they got a floor throughout this whole part. And there's a little section of wall, although that might have just been for support for the roof. But it's, in general, it's like not up to code as far as home construction goes. So let's see. Let's go walk around outside and see. Yeah, see, they have a stovepipe coming up. So in the movie, there's probably some point you could see some smoke coming out of there. You see, otherwise it just looks kind of like an old rundown house, but they're not built to withstand long time out in the weather. And you can see how the bottoms are rotting out and stuff. And you can see how beautiful the back of it is with the plywood. And you'll notice between all these houses and those houses, there's a lot of space right here. And that's because in the movie there were some brick buildings. It was kind of like a little downtown sort of area. There were brick buildings, I think, you know, 2-story buildings and stuff, stores and things like that. And for whatever reason, they took those down. I'm not sure why. But you see on this side too. Anyway, let's check on this house. See what's going on in here. Oh, look, this one's nice. Oh, it's got a cage in it. I don't know why it's got that. But it's got easy access to the outdoors and plenty of flooring, and that's about it. Look that. Yep. Look that. And for all you people who are like old movie buffs and like the old buildings and old houses and stuff they used to use in things, if you ever saw the old movie, or pretty much any movie of Psycho, the Psycho movie, and with Norman Bates and all that, and they had the old house up on the hill, the inside looked just like that. It was not finished. There was no inside in that house. Spooky. No wonder he was all psycho. But but yeah, the Psycho house has no interior, and I don't think the motel has anything either. The motel might have had the lobby part where you walk in and check into the motel, but that might have been about it. And maybe one room might have had a wall in it or something like that. But for the most part, it was all empty like these houses. And it looked almost as nice inside from what I understand. But here we go further down the street. We'll see a couple other houses that have some cool features and stuff. I always thought this one was cool because of the porch deal there. And I think there's some other features in one of these houses that we'll be able to look at. And across the street we got these. This is almost like a New Orleans house. Let's go see the lovely interior of this one, shall we? Look that. See, you walk in, they didn't show up there, so they didn't need a ceiling in there. That would have been extra construction time, and then guys charged by the hour, you know. But look in there, and you got standing water and all kind of stuff. They had a little walkway you could walk on it, but some of that's collapsed, it looks like. But you're not supposed to walk in these anyway. They're not really made for you to run around and play in and stuff. As long as you stay outside, you can have fun. But This will show you, even this house was kind of weathered, how the paint streaked and everything to look old. And where the paint's peeling off, you can see what the real color was underneath. Underneath was actually the good paint. And watch the door frame when you get up there. Look that. Now, something happened to the front door on this one. I'm not sure what. But you can see the clean white paint underneath the crusty, streaked old paint. Let's see, just to see if it's consistent with the other houses. We'll walk around to the backyard. And see, this one had a brick foundation. You can tell because it's fallen down right there, and as you can see the plywood underneath. It says genuine fake brick. But if you look at the brick over here, it's like, even now, after 20 years out in the weather, which it's not really designed to be, it still looks pretty cool as real brick. Let's see. Oh yeah. See, it's you know, lovely plywood, and the roof's got an overhang. You see it from the side, from a distance it looks okay. And oh look, here's a secret entrance, and there's the house next door. See, it's kind of finished the same way. Let's look through the secret entrance real quick. Oh, look that, they got running water. And you see upstairs, look that. We'll go ahead next door, but some of the windows aren't even in anymore. They've either fallen out or whatever. This one fell in actually, and into the floor of this house. It fell in and they just saved it, and maybe they'll put it back in one day. But you can see, nothing but framing. Look at that, and there's the front door. Looking out into the lovely neighborhood. And here we can see these from the other direction. And you know, if you were just driving by and saw these, you would think, oh, that's just some old houses. You wouldn't realize that they were completely empty inside. But yeah, we're gonna check out the houses on this side now, and I'm gonna use caution. That's why they say don't come down here and try to run around and act stupid. Yeah, the house might fall on you, and that hurts. And it's got French doors on it and everything. That's pretty fancy. And here we are. That's going into the house that way. And the little pieces of the ceiling have come down. So they could film stuff on this porch, because they had the walls and ceiling and everything. They probably had fixed light fixtures and stuff like that hanging out here. You go around the side. Yep. I'm gonna go around the back. It's always fun to see the back of these. See if they're consistent with the other ones. And look that. Yep, this has got a back door though, so this is pretty cool. Now I'll show you something that's really different about the next door neighbors. So you can see it's got the brick foundation that's fallen off. It's got some bad rot in that corner there. But otherwise, well, I think that's a piece of the ceiling off the porch. And let me see what we can see inside. I think this has got some stuff to see. Not too much. If you can see in there, look in that. Yep, you come in the front door, those beautiful double French doors, and that's what you see. But as I was mentioning, one of the unique things about the house next door, besides the plywood fireplace, I think probably had brick on it, and you can see the brick foundation is a little more extensive because it's made into pillars, but it's still just a fake brick on there, and that tree's growing real close to it. But yeah, you can see there's a brick. Look that. It's the brick on the outside, but this house actually has a back to it. It has a back porch and everything, and it's pretty massive and fancy. And here we are on the back porch, and let's take a look inside, because there's something else unique about this house that makes it different from the other ones, and that's that it is semi-finished on the inside. You can see there's actually look at that. Ooh, what's that? Another special effect. But yeah, they got casings around the doors and windows. They got a fireplace with a mantle and everything. A little worse for wear, because like I said, it's meant to be temporary, last maybe a month or so. And there's even a little hunk of ceiling in that corner for some reason, and that may be a big thing leaning against the wall. That may be some more ceiling that went somewhere, I think. I'm not sure, but it's pretty cool. And there you can see a little bit more. But here's your assignment, should you choose to accept it, is to watch the movie and see what you can recognize back there inside this room with the fireplace, and watch for the scene where they do stuff in here. Yeah, this is the same house. You can see it's got those cool louver things that offer a little shade and stuff to the porch. And you can see where the hardware was, where the lamps were on the front porch. And it looks like the address was 25. So, and they put this wire stuff on there to keep me out. But I wasn't going to say anything about that, but now I will, I guess. But let's take a look at the end of the street. And look that. Yeah, that's a church that was in the movie, and it's not real. Yep, this church was built for the movie too, and you can walk around it, and you can go under it if you want to, because you can see the fake brick foundation has got some gaps in it. But I don't know if you'd want to go under there, because that's where the goats hide. Oh, did I mention they have goats here? There's a heap big herd of goats, and they like to hide under the church. You can see there's some straw under there. And but yeah, it's got a bell tower and everything. You look back down the street, but it looked a lot different in the movie because it had those brick buildings and stuff. And I don't think they had goats in the movie. The goats came along later. And look them. The goats have been around here for a while, and they pretty much take over the town and just run around and destroy stuff. Because apparently Big Fish wasn't a favorite movie of the goat population here. Some of them are talking too. Nah. Ooh, see? But there's visitors come here to check the town out. See this side? There's another famous plywood back wall. And then the side's finished, you can see. But this is a lake out here, and a lot of people come out here to go fishing and stuff. So we're liable to see some guys in boats and stuff. Oh, there's one that somebody hiding down there. Look at him. Look that. But it's really pretty out here. And yeah, it was just an interesting, like, isolated area. They could build this whole town out here, and there's only access through one way. So they didn't have to worry about people coming and going all the time. They just closed the road and they film away. Yep, and that's kind of what a backlot situation looks like. And it's kind of rare to find this much stuff left over, still standing from a movie 20 years old. But there are places around the country where there's either a house or some kind of a piece of something that was built for a movie that is actually still there, and you have to kind of look around. You can find some of that stuff. Yeah, making movies can be interesting and challenging depending on how much money you have to spend. You can either build an entire town for your movie, or you get some cardboard and make a fake airplane out of it. Yeah, you think I'm joking. Yeah, the town of Spectre, it's pretty cool to see, unless you go to you know, California or something like that, where you can, you know, see like Universal Studios backlot tour and something like that, where you see all those old houses and stuff they used in the movies. And what's interesting is how many of them look nothing like they did in the movie you saw them. Meaning they've changed a lot. They're made to be changed. They're temporary, 200% temporary. And sometimes they just bulldoze them down, and sometimes they just change the front of them, or change, you know, the colors or whatever. And it's always interesting. But if you make your cardboard airplane and you leave it sitting outside, there's a pretty good chance it won't be around for too long. So, but yeah, this is cool out here. They have, besides the movie set town, they have camping areas. They have, oh, and there's something, oh, I think I went the wrong way. I'll have to come back around. There's something else to see over here. In another little section of the island, you come around and you can see these things. See all these pilings? It looks like they could have been a pier or something right here. And if you see them taller ones, let's go look at them up close. If you've seen this movie, then you know what we're looking at. But if you haven't seen it, this is going to confuse you. But you see these? And yeah, I think these are wood or some heavy plastic stuff or something, but they're hollow. But these are and look at the top, these are posts off a porch, because there was a house right here that hung out over the water, and they set all that up for the movie. So you gotta watch the movie to see what happens with that house, because it's pretty interesting, because it involves a giant. And I'm not gonna tell you anything else. I'm not gonna tell you anything else, but I can show you, because that's the house that was sitting on out over the water. And during the course of the movie, over the years, it got all run down and stuff, and it started falling over. And you can see there's a big giant guy over there, and he straightened it up for him. But that's the there's a porch post. You can see him over here too. That's the front porch post. And you see it had a railing all the way around it because it was over the water. So, more interesting stuff. So, if you're doing a movie and you need to build a house over the water that falls over and gets pushed back, then you have a pretty good budget. If you do it with a little model made out of some popsicle sticks or something, then you don't have a budget. And that's all you need to know. And that concludes our picture show featurette for today. So we'll see you next time on Look Dat!